show. Author's Corner, she asked about the books they wrote.
On Author's Corner, I welcome Captain Dawn Ottman. She's written a really important book. It's called Unwelcome: Sexual Harassment, Sexual Discrimination, Sexual Assault, and Rape in the Canadian Forces. Dawn, thank you so much for joining us on the show here on America Tonight with me, Kate Delaney.
Thank you very much for having me.
I know that you and I talked off the air, and I think it's so important that people get a real sense of your background. You're very proud. You wanted to serve, and you did serve. I mean, you joined the Canadian military in 1978, and you were just 18 years old. Tell us about that journey.
Well, I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada, and I joined the military, like you said, in the 1970s, the late 1970s. But my 20-year military career spanned the time that I spent in the ranks as an enlisted soldier, then 4 years at a military college, and then in the officer corps. As my military career, after my military career, I spent 5 years as a satellite engineer at Motorola. I am married, and I have 2 children.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, again, what a way to serve your country, and you think about how tough it is to go through those ranks in the first place and what it would have been like for you. So certainly you were a glass ceiling breaker. Tell us what happened to you and some of the harassment and what you had to endure being a woman in that position.
Well, what inspired me to write the book was that Veterans Affairs contacted me long after I retired, and I had made an application for benefits, and I heard the news, but it wasn't from the Veterans Affairs of Canada. It was actually from the Legion, the head branch of the Legion in Ottawa. And they were calling me to ask me if they could use my approved application, new news to me, as a reference for cases where they were helping other women veterans. And I said that they could go ahead and do it. But the reason they wanted to use it is that the Veterans Affairs Canada had never approved a case like mine. And my what's the right words for this? My application was for PTSD induced by sexual misconduct during my military career. Therefore, them approving it ended up being precedent setting, and this is why the Legion wanted to use my approval as a case-setting precedent for other applications.
How did you deal with, which is tremendous that you're that person, that you've helped so many other women, by the way, in the military who face some, horrific abuse, but just the decades of dealing with PTSD. How did you deal with it as you continued to be there and wanting to be in the military?
Well, my book, Unwelcome, is actually a memoir that chronicles my journey in the Canadian Forces. It was where my deep sense of duty to the Canadian Forces collided with a culture marked by systematic harassment, discrimination, and institutional silence. As you mentioned before, I was a teenager when I joined, and I entered the military with a determination that and a deep belief in service to my country. However, I quickly discovered that the reality within the military was far from what I expected. As a woman in a male-dominated environment, I faced repeated incidents of harassment, intimidation, and exclusion, experiences that were often dismissed or minimized by those in positions of authority. But as my career progressed, the challenges intensified. Instead of getting easier, it got harder. And reporting sexual misconduct proved difficult in a system where accountability is inconsistent and speaking out carries both a personal and professional consequences. I was forced to navigate this environment where silence and endurance were necessary.
Wow. And what happened with you too, and again, the book Unwelcomed: Sexual Harassment, Sexual Discrimination, Sexual Assault, and Rape in the Canadian Forces, which you can get on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, For Song, really, or wherever great books are sold. And you tell the story that in the mid 90s, you decided, okay, you're going to retire and move on move to the United States. And it was the last visit with a soldier and friend where you were attacked, something you weren't expecting, correct?
This is correct. I was expecting to have lunch with a friend and just discuss stuff, and then this friend ended up attacking me and actually raping me. I did not go to the police. The reason I did not is because I had gone to the police before with an earlier assault, and they had said to me something to the effect of, how many years do you have in? And I said 7. And they said, well, the person you're accusing is 12 years in. Who do you think they're going to believe?
Wow. Yeah, just let that sink in for everybody listening. Wow. So for you, obviously, it's been a journey, and you talk about it, like you mentioned, of course, in the book. And the book has everything in it. I mean, there are some interesting, funny moments even in it, but you even talk about where you had a former harasser whose daughter was going to have to navigate the military and had received similar abuse, and that harasser asked you for advice.
It is ironic because that harasser was one of the harassers of me.
Wow.
And so I didn't like this particular general. He was a general. But when his daughter joined the military and then she was being harassed, and she came to her dad and said, Dad, how do I deal with this? I don't want you to get involved, but how do I deal with this? And he came to me. He called up my colonel and asked my colonel to send me over to his office. But being a captain, I followed orders, So I marched over to his office, but the whole time I was marching over, I was sure that he had found something on me or something about me, and he wanted to provide the bad news for himself. So I was nervous like a kitten, and I showed up to his office. I was presented to him by his secretary. I saluted him, gave him proper respect and that sort of idea, and then he asked me to sit down, and He told me what was going on, that his daughter was being harassed and had come to him for help, like what should she do? And this was almost like full circle for me, because here my harasser had come to me and asked me what he should tell his daughter what to do. And I did feel like telling him to go to hell, but I did not, because this was my sister's soldiers that was being harassed. So I did not tell him where to go. I asked what was happening. I gave him proper advice. And then he thanked me. And I think in a small way, I had some sort of effect on him where conversion happened with him. But my book on Welcome goes beyond a personal story. It reveals a pattern of behavior that affects not just one individual, but others within the institutional environment. And it was through candid reflection and lived experience that my memoir sheds light on the cost of silence and the urgent need for accountability and change.
Wow, so well put, and that's it in a nutshell. And I mentioned that you really document everything, take us through that journey, and also the journey of becoming Canada's first female space scientist.
Yes, that happened actually by accident, but it was a good accident. I ended up being the only woman in the class. The class of first space scientists ended up having one woman, myself, and so I ended up being Canada's first woman space scientist. And that was not unusual for me to be breaking barriers like that, because it had happened also when I was in the ranks, and I was one of the first radio technicians, because that trade was not open to women. And then it became open to women, and they asked me, after doing an aptitude test on me, if I would be interested in it, and of course I was. And I became a radio technician, Then I stayed with my branch and became an engineer in the communications field after I graduated from Royal Military College. But I worked on satellite engineering and communication satellites.
And did you love that work?
I loved the work. Not the working environment, but the work was great.
Yeah. When people read your book, what do you hope they take away? People that are listening, people that get your book, what do you want them to feel? What do you want them to think when they read the book?
I want them to get the sense of reality of what it's like for a woman to be in a man's military. And then also because as an engineer, a woman in a man's field. So it crosses boundaries that are not militarily based, but are also in Civvy Street. I did get a little bit of harassment when I was at a branch of Motorola, and not the original branch where I was the SATCOM engineer, but a later branch when the satellite system was up. Anyways, what I want someone to take away from the book is that my sister soldiers, I want you to know that you're not alone. And for anyone that's dealing with any kind of sexual misconduct in their work environment, right, as a leader, they can do something about it. So I'd like it to not only address my sister soldiers, but also I would like it to see, I mean, this is idealistic, I would like to see a change in the military.
More with Captain Dawn Ottman coming up on the flip side.